What's going on, off the record fans? I hope you guys had a great week. This is the first live session we've done this week. Had a busy week, but we've got some news to go over. It's not brand new news, but I'm going to hopefully give you guys some insight into the life of Taylor Swift today. And we're also going to be talking about Spotify a little bit and how musicians have been battling them the last couple years so that they can make the money they need to make to keep making music for us. So let's get into this. I hope you guys had a great week. It's Friday. So it's not beautiful out. It's raining a little bit, but it's Friday. So show some love down below. Again, if this is your first time watching, thanks for coming. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment. So Taylor Swift, the architect of her own empire. It's a great title. So from teenage country prodigy to one of the most powerful figures in global entertainment, Taylor Swift has redefined what it means to be a pop star in the 21st century. Her journey is one of talent, tenacity, and total transformation. And she's just getting started. I do feel like she's always just getting started. Let's talk about her humble beginnings here in Pennsylvania. She was born in December 13th, 1989. I was 7 at the time. In good old Reading, PA. I actually don't think she's from Reading, PA. I think she lived in like Wyomissing area, which is about 20 minutes south or so. It's like a suburb. I know my bassist Sam went to the same high school as her before she moved. So Taylor Allison Swift grew up on a Christmas tree farm, surrounded by countryside, like I said, and dreaming of stages far beyond her hometown. It's because PA really only had the silo, and they have reverb. That's the only places in town. And then they have the Santander, which is bigger. She wouldn't play the Santander. That's way too small for her. So from her young age, she showed a flair for storytelling and a love for music. After falling under the spell of country icons like Shania Twain and Faith Hill, she began performing at local events, festivals, and eventually, thank you to a supportive family, she moved to Nashville at the age of 14. Like I said, she didn't stay in Reading very long. If you're smart, you don't stay in Reading very long. But this was in Music City that Taylor sharpened her songwriting skills and landed a big deal with Big Machine Records. Her debut single, Tim McGraw, introduced her into the world around 2006, and from there, her rise was huge. I mean, her self-titled debut album was filled with teenage reflections and southern charm, but makes no mistake, even then, Taylor was building something far bigger than anyone else could see at the time. Let's get into her country queen and pop royalty era. So by the time Fearless dropped in 2008, Swift was already shaping the modern country landscape. I remember everybody talking about her at this point. The album was a masterclass in crossover writings, straddling pop and country with ease at that time. Hits like Love Story and You Belong With Me weren't just radio staples, they were cultural moments for the country. The album earned her 4 Grammys, including Album of the Year, making her the youngest artist at the time to ever win that honor. So her third record, Speak Now, came out in 2010. It was even more personal than the previous albums, entirely self-written by her. And her songwriting gained complexity and edge with that album. Now, in 2012, Red continued that evolution, dabbling in pop and EDM with tracks like We're Never Ever Getting Back Together, which is still, I feel like I hear everybody singing that. And the now legendary song All Too Well, a song whose 10-minute re-release in 2021 would become a fan favorite and a Spotify juggernaut. Yeah, she released that Red album I don't know if this article is going to get into that, but she re-released that, I think, under her own, when she got all of her masters and got all of the ownership of her music. She kind of re-recorded that album how she wanted to without a producer really telling her what to do. Honestly, I like that album a lot more. So then came 1989, the album, the full pop pivot. In 2014, a glossy synth-dredged masterpiece marked a new era for her, both sonically and culturally. She won her second Album of the Year Grammy and solidified her place in a genre-defying force that nobody had seen from her. So let's talk about the reputation, redemption, and reinvention. So with 2017, the album Reputation, Swift leaned into the drama that had been swirling around her. Feuds with Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, public scrutiny, and the media narratives. At this point, I mean, she was all over the news about her dating, about her music. The poor girl is getting criticism everywhere she looks, and she's a boss girl. So she crafted a darker and more defiant sound. She kind of shedded that America's sweetheart image in favor of something a little bit more confrontational. The Reputation Stadium Tour was a financial blockbuster for her. It grossed over $345 million globally. That's an insane amount. Also, she has, if you've ever watched any of her live videos, one of the things that people love about Taylor Swift is not just the music and the iconic music that she puts out, but the stage presence, the show of the show that she puts on. Her follow-up, Lover, the album that came out in 2019, was a bright, pastel-colored shift, embracing romance and personal freedom. Swift had signed a new deal with Republic Records and Universal Music Group, ensuring ownership of her master recordings for the first time in her career. A response to her higher profile fallout with Scooter Braun and the sale of her back catalog. So that battle sparked one of the boldest moves in music history. Swift's decision to re-record her old albums, Fearless, Taylor's version, Red, Taylor's version, Speak Now, Taylor's version, and 1989, Taylor's version, have all seen commercial success and critical praise from fans. It provided the fans with them following her new lead into this epic. I mean, you're talking. It was a musical history moment. Bands like the Rolling Stones and huge bands are maybe seeing maybe like 80% of like $1 on their sales, but you're talking about a huge band that's been around for decades. Taylor Swift came in like a boss when it comes to the business. Part of this is probably because her dad is a really savvy businessman. He also set her up pretty well. But she just really came in really strong with what she wanted, and she also had the following and the money for it. So let's get into that Eras tour and a career on the stage. So let's talk about this tour. Arguably, it's one of the most ambitious and successful tours in modern music history. Kicking off in 2023, the show is a 3-hour spectacle that spans her entire discography. Each segment is dedicated to a different era of her career. So complete with costume changes, set design shifts, and visual storytelling that makes that takes the fans on a journey through her evolution. If you're a fan, I would love to see Thrice do that. I would stand there for 3-4 hours and watch them play every album. Or like Circus Survive, The Deer Hunter, even Foo Fighters. I'd love that'd be way too long of a concert. But So the tour shattered records, becoming the first tour to gross over $1 billion. That's insane. But what makes it so special is the community that she's built. So Swifties, they trade friendship bracelets at shows. They scream every lyric and even speculate about song choices via online forums with a fever that rivals sports fandom. I can attest to this. My recent ex-girlfriend, who I'm still friends with, Stacy, huge Swiftie fan. She made me a bracelet right when we started dating. It's on my nightstand. It stays close to me. I'm not a big jewelry person, but I love the feverish following she has. Sometimes it's dangerous. Like if they think if you're talking crap about them, they'll attack you. If you've ever had a run-in with a mad Swiftie, I hope you survived. So Swift's choice of opening acts reflects her dedication to supporting fellow artists, especially women. So Phoebe Bridgers, Paramore, who we've discussed on the show many times, and Gracie Abrams, as well as Gail and Haim, Haim, and Sabrina Carpenter have all shared the stage with her, giving their massive exposure and offering fans a curated yet genre-spanning experience. I've also seen videos where she was in, I believe she was in Arizona. I don't know what tour it was. I want to say it was in the last 10 years. And she brought the lead singer of Jimmy Eat World out on stage to play. I think they played the middle together. It was actually pretty cool. So let's get into behind the scenes, the business of Swift. So Swift is not just an artist. She is the CEO of Taylor Swift, Inc. She keeps a tight circle and oversees her operations through 13 Management, her self-owned management company. She's brilliant, man. Her dad, Scott Swift, was a power player in her early career and still supports her behind the scenes. I'm sure she needs that extra help, especially having a family member she can trust. So unlike many pop stars who hand over the reins, Taylor has remained hands-on with her branding, marketing, and music rights, which is it's really cool to see somebody take that much power and really run with it. Her business moves have shifted the industry by far, from withholding her catalog from Spotify in the early days of streaming, which we'll get into with the next segment, to a point about artist compensation, as that's what that was about, to negotiating record contracts that protect future artists. Swift has proven herself a leader in the artistic advocacy, which super glad there's somebody doing that for artists. So her re-recording projects, they're not only a creative win, it's a business masterstroke. Each Taylor's version album comes with a bonus track, deluxe marketing, and prompts fans to ditch the old masters in favor of the reclaims. And it's been working for her. So it's such a boss move. I love it so much. So love, lyrics, and the public eye. Let's get into that with her. So of course it wouldn't be a Taylor Swift story without touching on her love life. A constant fixation of the public and the press. That's honestly where I've heard the most is the press. So her high-profile relationships have often fueled her lyrics, sometimes tenderly, other times with brutal honesty. So here's a quick rundown. This is a killer list of guys she has dated. So Joe Jonas, 2008, dumped via a 20-second phone call. Taylor Lautner, Team Taylor. I don't know who you went for, the vampire or the werewolf in Twilight. The inspiration behind Back to December, that song. That was in 2009. Then also in 2009, John Mayer, 2009 to 2010, which led to the song Dear John. 2010, Jake Gyllenhaal, the alleged muse behind the song All Too Well. Again, a lot of these are alleged, but you get it. In 2012, looks like she took a little 2-year break. Harry Styles immortalized in the song Style and the song Out of the Woods. I love how on the nose she is with these songs sometimes with the titles. So 2015 to 2016, Calvin Harris ended messily in with songwriting credit disputes. Oof. 2016, Tom Hiddleston. A little Loki action, I believe that's who that is. A whirlwind romance, short but heavily publicized. I mean, he is a giant around that time, coming in with all the Marvel movies. So 2016 to 2023, which was her longest span with somebody, was with Joe Alwyn. So I hope I got that right. The pronunciation or enunciation. A long and relatively private relationship, which inspired the songs Lover, Folklore, and Evermore. Those are some iconic Swift songs. I know those titles. Again, I just dated a Swiftie for 10 months. I pay attention sometimes, ladies. Sometimes. Not all the time. You can't get me all the time. So, presently, from 2023 to now, our boy Travis Kelce. So, the NFL star and Swift are now America's favorite couple, crossing worlds of football and pop culture in a way that nobody saw coming. It was really funny. The Eagles, go Birds, won this year in the Super Bowl, and it was really funny to watch her at the games. She wasn't paying attention that much, except for when he was on the field. But I thought it was cute seeing them together. Also, my buddy Cop Daddy, who I make videos about from Phoenixville, he does private security for Jason Kelce. So there's going to be some news to come with that little debacle. Not gonna announce anything yet. Nothing's solid, but things are in the works. Swift has always maintained that her music is her diary. It looks like we got a viewer comment below. Tell me what your favorite Swift song is, or if you don't like Taylor Swift. Whoever's watching, just let me know. Comment down here. So she's always maintained that her music is her diary, and she's grown more selective about what she shares publicly. Understandable. Recent interviews and her Netflix document, Miss Americana, revealed a more thoughtful, introspective Swift, one increasingly focused on privacy and personal growth. I mean, I feel bad for the girl. Everything she does, for a while there, was just all over the news. So let's talk about the legacy and what's next for Taylor Swift. So more re-recordings, Taylor Swift and Reputations are likely on the deck. Rumored new music, possible film ventures. She's written and directed a short film and is reportedly writing a feature. And of course, more touring. So with each album, each tour, each business decision, Taylor Swift continues to rewrite what it means to be a modern artist. She's not riding the wave. She's the tide itself. Love her or not, one thing is undeniable about Taylor Swift. It's one of the most important and influential. She's one of the most important and influential figures in the music industry today. She's not just a pop star. She's absolutely a phenomenon. So we're going to get a little bit more into Taylor Swift with her little fights with Spotify now. So let's get into that. So let's start with the basics about, let's talk about the truth about the streams. So comment below if you use Spotify for your music love or you use iTunes. I use iTunes because I have Apple products. It's just what I've been using for a while. So let's start with the basics. Spotify is the biggest music streaming service in the world. Over 600 million users and counting. With over 100 million paid subscribers, it changed how we listen to music, how we discover new artists, and how artists are forced to make a living now. But here's where it gets a little murky, guys. Spotify pays artists roughly 0.003 to 0.005 cents per stream. It's not even a penny. So that means just to earn $1, a song needs to be streamed about 250 to 300 times. To make a minimum wage for a month, a track needs to hit over 300,000 streams. And that's before anyone takes their cuts. So let's break it down with a quick comparison. 1 million streams sounds like a flex, right? For an independent artist, that's about $3,000 to $500 or to $5,000 before their distributor, label, or management takes their share. So if they're signed to a major label, you might walk away with less than 20% of that money, split between however many artists you have. So your song goes viral on TikTok. You hit 1 million streams, and you get enough to fix your car and buy groceries for the month. That's how it works, guys. It's tough being an artist these days. So congrats if you're a streaming millionaire emotionally. And hey, Spotify isn't alone here. So Apple Music pays slightly more. Tidal pays even more. But Spotify's the face of the beast. And for good reasons, it dominates the landscape. Most people do use Spotify. So let's get into the Taylor Swift versus Spotify. The battle heard around the world. This was so talked about in the music industry, local music, and the big players. So let's rewind to 2014. The music industry has been grumbling about streaming payouts, but nobody had really moved on that. And then came Taylor Swift, the boss babe. Taylor drops her album 1989, a certified banger. It pulls her entire then she just pulls her entire catalog from Spotify. She writes a now famous op-ed in Wall Street Journal saying, music is, quote, music is art, and art is important and rare. Important, rare, and rare things are valuable. Valuable things should be paid for, unquote. Boom, mic drop from Taylor Swift. She was especially against Spotify's free tier. Why should music be free when artists spent years crafting it? She got a great point. Spotify fired back with a public response claiming that they paid out $2 billion to rights holders at the time. But Taylor wasn't impressed with this. She stood her ground, and for years, you couldn't stream her music on Spotify. So then in 2017, just as her rival Katy Perry released an album, she just quietly made her return. Coincidence? Maybe. But also, streaming had become too big for her to ignore. And by then, Spotify had grown so massive that not being on it was becoming a bigger loss for her than staying off. So, still, her stance made a lasting impact on the music scene for sure. So let's talk about a couple more artists that spoke out. So Taylor wasn't the only one putting up a fight. Tom York, Radiohead's Moody genius, in 2013, he yanked his solo work from Spotify and called it the last desperate fart of a dying corpse. Yeah, that's some Shakespeare level shade that he was throwing. He argued that Spotify favored major labels and screwed over indie musicians, and to this day, he's kept a cautious distance from Spotify. So let's also talk about David Byrne from the Talking Heads, the frontman. He wrote a powerful essay in The Guardian warning that streaming could destroy the middle class of music, the working artists who aren't mega famous yet, but still rely on a consistent income to keep going. That is the hardship right there, is those middle ground artists that aren't Taylor Swift, they're not Foo Fighters. They have a following, but like we said, how much does it take to make $3,000 to $5,000 for the month on streams? It's a lot. So then there's Neil Young, who pulled his music from Spotify in 2022. Not over royalties, but in protest of Spotify's support of Joe Rogan's podcast, which Young accused Joe Rogan of spreading COVID misinformation. It became a political firestorm. This is another huge thing that was talked about a lot. Also, everyone was like, Neil Young, what does he put out? What does he put out in the last couple decades? So Joni Mitchell followed him. India Ari as well. I don't know that artist. Might be out of my age range. But suddenly Spotify was under fire for content ethics as well as artist payments. So let's get into Spotify's side of the story. Now, to be fair, Spotify does try to defend itself. Their usual argument goes something like this, quote, "We don't pay artists directly. We pay the right holders like labels, distributors, and publishers," unquote. Quote, "We're giving artists success to global art audience. We paid over $40 billion to the industry since launch." It's great, but how much should the artists have gotten? So, and sure, all that might technically be true, but here's the thing. That money mostly goes to the top 1% of artists. So everyone else is just fighting for scraps. So Spotify's model rewards volume, basically. Millions of streams, rapid releases, playlist placement. It's a musical version of TikTok's viralability, basically. Artistry takes a backseat to algorithmic survival, basically. It's kind of like the thing that musicians complain about now is you have to be a content maker as well as a musician now to really go anywhere. So even their CEO, Daniel Ek, it's E-K, is how his last name's spelled, said in 2020, quote, "You can't record music once every 3 or 4 years and think that it's going to be enough," unquote. I have some choice words for him. But, right, that's the best music. The best music is definitely made when artists are on a hamster wheel cranking out content just to survive. It's kind of ridiculous. But musicians have been taking the low end of the totem pole for a while. I mean, the 90s, you had every middleman taking money out of every CD sale. So you had CDs selling for $18. That artist still saw less than $1 off of a sale. So let's talk about the fans' roles and what we can do. So where does this leave us, the fans? I know streaming is convenient. I'm not telling you to delete Spotify or iTunes, but if we really care about music, like really care, then we've got to do more to support the artists that we love. So here's how you can help. Buy merch. That hoodie or vinyl sale it goes a long way for the band. Go to physical shows. Live performances are a major source of income for bands. Big bands, small bands. If you believe in the local music scene, buy a t-shirt from a band. They're usually selling them for $15. So use Bandcamp. It's one of the few platforms where artists actually get paid well. That's true. I think we get like 90% of the sales, 80% or something like that from Bandcamp. I have a friend, Anthony Sadek, who's in Nashville. He's actually on tour right now, who always buys whatever I release on Bandcamp. Love the guy. So also tip jars, Patreon, direct support. Throw a few bucks to the people that soundtrack your life. If music is that important to you, support them. They might not ask. I'm not good at asking for help. Sunblind needs help. Find a local band you love and just pour into them if that's what you can do. I mean, also just sharing their content online, sharing their Spotify, sharing their iTunes links helps. So that's a list of 5 different things you can do. Buy merch, go to shows, use Bandcamp, tip jars, Patreon, direct support, and also share their music. So behind every Spotify playlist, there's an artist who gave their heart in a 3-minute song, and they deserve a little bit more than half of a penny. It's actually like less than half a penny. So, closing thoughts, Spotify helped us discover more music than ever before, but also it turned songs into data points, really. And it's up to us to put the humanity back into music. So, support the artists you love, because streaming doesn't feed families, but you can. So, if you've ever watched the show, like I said in the beginning, I like to give a shout out to a local artist every live show. And this lady, I saw her play at Rec Room, I want to say back in January or February. She played as a duo, Koser. I cover the song Creep by Radiohead almost every show, acoustic or full band. It's my go-to karaoke song. It's a favorite of mine. She did a version that had my jaw drop. It was like I rediscovered this song. So let's get into Koser. So Philadelphia's vibrant music scene has long been the cradle for emerging artists. Amongst its brightest stars is Koser, a dynamic 5-piece alternative rock band fronted by the charismatic Kara Koser. She blends soulful vocals with gritty instrumentation. Koser has carved a niche in both nostalgic and refreshingly modern music. So, from open mics to national stages. So, Kara Koser's musical journey began in her youth, penning songs and honing her craft. So, after overcoming personal challenges, including performance anxiety and a substance use disorder, she embraced sobriety in 2018, which was a turning point that propelled her into the spotlight around here. Her victory is in a rigorous 3-month singing contest marked the beginning of a promising career. Relocating to Manioc, she frequently went to the Grape Room's open jams, where she met musicians who would become her bandmates. Their chemistry was undeniable when they joined, leading to the formation of Koser, a name chosen by the band in honor of their lead singer. Let's talk about a sound that defies classification. So Koser's music is a melting pot of genres, drawing comparison to artists like Amy Winehouse, Lady Gaga, Paramore. Those are really accurate. She has super vibrant and unique, diverse vocal range. Their debut album, or EP, Loudmouth Soup, showcases this vibe with tracks like Mint, blending indie rock intros with soulful vocals and classic rock guitar solos. So let's talk about her performances and collaborations. She's actually going to be singing a song with us. We're playing a show with her May 17th in Phoenixville at Root Down. It's a festival, and we're doing the night portion. It's going to be Koser, Sunblind, and Dad and Company. If you haven't heard these bands, they're really good. Sunblind's okay. But I'm super stoked to play with her. She's actually going to sing on Say It Ain't So by Weezer with us. Can't wait to hear her vocals on that. So Koser has graced numerous stages across the country, including Music Fest in Bethlehem, Dina Shore Festivals in California, Beard Fest in New Jersey, Ladybug Festival in Delaware, Electric City Fest in Pennsylvania, Bloom Fest in California. She's also performed renowned venues such as the Valley Forge Casino, which, if you're lucky, you've been there late at night, Philadelphia Flower Show, Milk Boy, Silk City, the Grape Room, Johnny Brenda's, Rockwood Music Hall in New York, the Bower in New York, the Birchmere in Virginia, Hard Rock Live in New Jersey, and the Viper Room in California. So let's talk about her media recognition. She's caught attention with the media outlets, and she's been featured on Fox 29, Good Day PA, NBC 10, KYW News Radio, Q102, WXBN, WMMR. Love that station. So she's got some upcoming shows. You can go to her website. We've got that here in the background. But May 11th, this weekend, she's playing Silk City in Philadelphia. June 22nd, and then May 17th in Phoenixville at Root Down. June 21st, Clark Park in Philadelphia. It's probably going to be a festival. July 10th, she's playing in Glasgow Regional Park in Newark, Delaware. July 24th, Mummers Museum. July 28th, the Rockford Park in Wilmington. And August 8th, Music Fest in Bethlehem, which is a great festival if you're in the area. So I asked her if she wanted me to share anything, and she gave me a video saying, just so you know, I'm a competitive power lifter. My mom has a reconstructed fake mouth with her baby teeth in her mouth. She also said that she has a song coming out about good old Matthew McConaughey. All right. So again, Koser, blending the soulful vocals and diverse musical influences. You can go see her. This is how you support the local music scene. This is how you help artists grow. Go see her live. She's playing a ton. Go listen to her stuff. Share her stuff online. She puts out a lot of content. I know she's done some live sessions that are really good, so you can actually see what she's done live before you go see her. So that's all we have for today, guys. Again, off the record, if you have any comments, chat and put them in the chat down below. If you know a local artist that you want me to give a shout out to, shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram. That's all we have. I hope you guys have a great weekend. TGI Friday, guys.